Well, this is Jared with Stampede Blue, and this is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. The Colts lost today on the road to the Tennessee Titans. The final score is 25-16, and the Colts are now 0-3 for what feels like the first time in forever. However, um, it's not even really like fortunately. It's just unfortunate. This is all unfortunate. Colts are continuing to battle injuries at both tackle positions. Eric Fisher wasn't quite 100% today. That right tackle position's a turnstile. Davenport got benched after like 3 series. Colts, as you can see, scored 16 points. Um, Man, it's tough to really put into context other than like being really disappointed with starting 0-3. Felt like this it was a game that was winnable, and I feel like the 18 for 27 for 197 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a sack that the Colts put on Ryan Tannehill today was more than enough to win. 25 points allowed for a defense on the road and is good enough. And the Colts offense, it, at this point, it just feels like lip service on my part to sit here and say is capable of so much more. Michael Pittman, 6 for 68 receptions today on 12 targets, so not necessarily efficient. Naheem Hines, though, 5 receptions for 54 yards, 6 carries for 25 yards at a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 10 carries for 64 yards. And those are the two big question marks for me is how, with both a wounded offensive line, particularly at the tackle position, meaning that you're going to cede pressure from the pass rush from the outside in. You want to get the ball away, should be able to run the ball downhill effectively, right? It didn't seem like Tennessee was doing anything crazy on defense. It seemed like the Colts were able to run the ball effectively when they chose to. Almost 5 yards a carry, and that's even with Ashton Doolin's 7 yard loss factored into that run game. So it's really 19 for or 17 for 80, which is 5 yards a carry, over 5 yards a carry. So yeah, the Colts uh, will travel to the Miami Dolphins in week 4. Are sitting in a very winnable AFC South. Again, that's even losing on the road to a division opponent. I still think the Colts could beat the Titans when the Colts are at home. I believe the Colts could beat the Texans and the Jaguars twice each and go 5-1 in the division and win it. Just gonna have to pick up some wins elsewhere along the way. Um, and I think that ultimately, like a game against the Dolphins, even though they are winning right now against the Raiders, ultimately are a beatable team as well. And again, I think we said all offseason that these first 5 games are going to be tough, and if you're not healthy and ready to go, these teams can sneak up and beat you. Well, the Dolphins are no different. They're certainly capable. Obviously, they've had some injuries as well, so really both teams will come in limping, right? So limp over, limp back, pretty much the thought process today. But if you really want to think about who got worse today, I would argue that it's both teams got worse, right? Quentin Nelson goes down with an ankle injury. AJ Brown out with an injury. He's in street clothes right away. Quiddy Pay pulled himself out. So, like I said, I think both teams come away a little worse for the wear, and that's division football. And then ultimately, like I said, division is very winnable. Playoffs are still very attainable. Team could very well be on the cusp of a turnaround. But again, actions speak louder than words. I think the Dolphins are beatable, flatly. And it starts there, right? To sort of turn the season around. That would be a big non-division win, big conference win though, and a confidence builder. And these are the kinds of factors. These are kind of things you're going to need to happen in an NFL season. Is I like to call it like a gift road win, right? Um, the Dolphins obviously with Tua injured. Even if there's a situation where he's back, there's no way he's at 100%. So the Dolphins would be ripe for the picking, pretty much no matter who they put under center, right? And like I said, as long as without the 2 sacks Carson Wentz gave up today, and the offensive line gave up today, hopefully it doesn't put Carson Wentz in a worse position. Want to remind you while I got you here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Put out a couple pieces of Colts content a week. You can also find me on Twitter at LikelyAlien. You can also follow my new Colts podcast at The Coltist. And I appreciate all your support as I transition to YouTube to make my weekly podcast. So I appreciate you. Like I said, Colts are going to be an enigma until they're healthy, and then obviously depth is an issue. Tackles are vital in the NFL, and the Colts, like I said, you got an unhealthy left tackle and you got a turnstile at right tackle. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. It's kind of what the Colts are swimming through. Um, just try to keep our head above water, right? Anyway, this has been Jared with Stampede Blues, your Indianapolis Colts post game wrap. Enjoy the rest of the games this weekend, and we'll see you after next week's game.